The other day I read a really short sentence, a really short quote that's just sort of stuck with me. And it's literally just that sadness is a form of self-obsession. And I get it, that might sound kind of harsh, but really hear me out. When you're deep within your own thoughts, when you're deep within yourself and how your life is turning out, everything has become about you. Your pain, your struggles, your memories, and your regrets. The more you sit in this feeling, the more you obsess with this feeling, the more it becomes your whole identity. And the more it will sort of drag you down and make you sad. Like, it's so corny and cliche, but you're watching this video right now, you have access to internet, you have technology that's allowing you to hear this. You've probably had some fresh water today, you've probably had some food today, but it's just when you get in your own head and when you start obsessing about yourself, your past and all that sort of stuff, is when your obsession of yourself really turns into like a sadness. And you almost need to break the cycle. I'm not a motivational dude, I'm not a therapist, I'm not a psychiatrist, so I can't tell you what to do and what not to do. But all I can say is that I felt the same. And over the past 6 months, my perspective really has shifted. Like, the more I thought about myself, the more I thought about my past, and the more I become obsessed with myself, the worse my sadness got. And you've heard me use the word obsession, obsessed, a lot already in the video, and it's probably already been like a minute in, 2 minutes in, and I'm going to keep using it throughout the video because it really is an obsession. There's no need to obsess over yourself. There's so much other things going on in the world right now. I guess talking from my own experience, like when I was in a deep sadness, looking back, kind of everything revolved around me in the moments that I was sad, you know what I mean? And then this isn't applicable to everything. Of course, you can be sad if a loved one dies or a loved one's gone through it, but more often than not, we're sad because of our own circumstances. And us as humans really tend to get in our heads about things that we've done or things that we will do. So it's normal to like think about your pain, your struggles, and your disappointments. And you really stop thinking about like everyone else around you. Or even just the little things, like the sun touching your skin. It sounds silly, but like, it's really not that deep. I don't just expect everyone to get over sadness. I didn't just get over sadness. But if you are feeling sad, like really look into yourself and think, what are my thoughts going to? Is it primarily myself and the negative version of myself? Because of course that obsession with that version of you is going to cause sadness. Like, we really live in our heads too much. A lot of the time we focus on what we don't have instead of what we do have. And the more we think about these things, you can sort of see like a literal fine line where it becomes about things that made us sad to becoming more about us as a whole and just encapsulating sadness. And we are sadness because we're obsessed with sadness. And we can't just be sad all the time. You can't just be sad all the time. I can't just be sad all the time. Like, sometimes you got to ask yourself, like, what's my goal here? Like, realistically, am I just going to be sad for the rest of the year? The rest of the day, the rest of the decade, the rest of the week? But it's super odd because for some people, sadness becomes really familiar and you wouldn't really know what to do without it. And that's the part that no one really talks about it. You know, sometimes we hold on to sadness because it sort of gives us an excuse. And in a way, sadness is sort of comfortable. We've all felt sadness in the past. So in a way, it is something familiar to us. And even with that point now, thinking about it now, I think a lot of people would stay in their comfort zone, which is sadness, which is just then a snowball effect, which is just keeping you even more in your comfort zone, making you even more sad. And of course, everything I'm talking about now really connects to that one viral video that I had titled, I can't even remember the title, I feel like it was called Everything Feels Different, and it really connects with nostalgia also. You know, your self-obsession can really keep you stuck in the past, like trapped in old memories. And like I said not too long ago, it just feeds into your obsession, it feeds into your sadness, and it's gonna snowball. Like that video, I wasn't necessarily generally sad, but you know, I feel like I was kind of sad because I was comparing the current to how things used to be. Like, I missed the innocence, I miss the homies, I miss the stress-freeness with no rent, no bills to pay. And you know, that's what my viral video was about. But that video in particular really made me like realize something. And it's a massive thing. And a lot of you probably realized it too, where it's like, you're not the only one going through it. I'm not the only one going through it. So many people resonated with just the feeling of sadness and thinking about your old self. And speaking for myself, at least looking back, it really is just a form of self-obsession. Like, my brain was constantly going to old memories or different times that aren't even technically better, but with rose-colored glasses, they felt better. And I just couldn't stop, you know, comparing the past to the current was a literal obsession. And the more I became obsessed, the more I focused my energy on myself and how I felt or how I was feeling, the more I just got stuck in that. And I think that's where that video came from. It was almost like a burst of self-obsession. Like, I've been holding in all these thoughts, all these sad thoughts that I've been obsessing over and plotting over, and I just exploded it in a video. And to be honest, that was the best thing that could have happened because I know I helped a lot of you guys. And honestly, this is just a reminder to myself and everyone who felt the same. It's like, you're not always going to be sad, and you literally can't always be sad, which sort of sucks for my YouTube because, you know, my craziest video, I was being sad in it, but I'm not gonna fake being sad and all that just for views. So yeah, I'm really trying to like bring you guys out with me. And like I really have to step back and ask myself, when I talk about things like nostalgia and when I think really good thoughts, really good nostalgic thoughts, where I felt like everything used to be better, is that just me in a way feeding my own ego? Because in reality right now, things are not bad at all. In fact, things are great. But of course, if you're going to compare the current day, your current mundane, monotonous 9-to-5 day, to your childhood days, of course you're going to feel sad. And of course you're going to think, you know, the past you was so much happier. But like, it's all a lie, it's all a trap. Life is still happening. There's still heaps of good in it, regardless of what's happening in the world with like war, money, all that sort of stuff. Like, you're still here breathing. You're still here touching the sun. You're still here drinking clean water. I would hope that you still have a loved one around you. And like, it's just unfair to compare today to peak nostalgia. Like, it sucks. And I'd say that to all you guys as well. Do not compare today to your peak nostalgia. And you really got to just appreciate what's in front of you. It's very corny, but like, it's so true. And like, this whole self-obsession means sadness thing, it can really just be broken down by seeing things for what they are and just tearing apart your ego. Like, bro, the fact that I can enjoy the sun, drink clean water, be healthy, the older I get, the more I appreciate those things. The fact that I'm just sitting here on my lunch break again, taking the time to just talk to a YouTube channel, like, that's something that I'll always be grateful for, and it will probably be something that I'll be nostalgic about in the future. I can imagine 10 years from now, I'll be looking back at this exact time, like 2025, 2024, thinking, what a good year. I got so many creative projects done. I met so many cool people through this YouTube thing. It all sounds so corny, and I always say that things sound corny, because you know they do, but they're corny because they're real. And I know this sort of talk can be annoying as when you're like deep in the sadness, like me just saying, bro, just appreciate the sun in front of you. Like, really strip back what I'm saying and what it is. Like, it's just you, your soul, in a human body, enjoying a big ball of energy that's making you warm and literally feeding your body. Like, crazy. Really just break it down just like that. Like, really just look at things in a real way, like down to earth. Not even down to earth, but just, for lack of better words, like, look at everything as like a molecule level, like an atom level. The fact that I can see with my own two eyes, and like that perspective shift can really help you, especially if you're deep down in a hole. And of course, sadness isn't something that you get rid of completely. It's a normal part of life completely. And as I said earlier in the video, like, not all sadness is self-obsession. In fact, a lot of sadness would be selfless. You know, you'll feel sadness because of other people's circumstances. But just in regards to your own sadness and your own self-obsession, you just got to change the way you look at it, let it pass through you, and shift your focus outwards instead of being lost in your own thoughts. Start paying attention to the world around you. You know, call your homies, check in on the people that love you, go outside, touch grass, touch the sun, do something for someone else. Fuck it. Because like, when you really start stepping out of your own head and just putting your energy and your thoughts in just the space around you and where you are right now, it can really make you realize that the world is so much bigger. Like, so much bigger than just you and your problems. A lot easier said than done. If you're not too mentally strong right now and you find that kind of hard to do, just find something that will keep you engaged again. Whether that's gaming, whether that's finding a new YouTuber, a new artist. Try listening to something new instead of listening to the old things that you'd always listen to. Like, we all got so much potential and we just got to use it and share it with everyone. And just stop spending all your time looking inwards, because self-obsession is sadness. But honestly, who am I to tell you what to do? You feel what you gotta feel and take the time you gotta take. But really don't let it own you, and just stop being obsessed with yourself. There's just so much going on out there. That's all I really gotta say for this one. I appreciate you all, especially if you're this far in the video. As always, all my links in the description, that being all my streaming platforms, my Instagram for both my clothing brand and my personal Insta. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm always excited to hear what you guys say, or like your take on this. And yeah, it's been Once Faded. Peace.